All right, you guys, we're about to kick off this Money Making Monday training, and we are excited to have you guys all on the line. If you don't see your team members on here, shoot them a quick text and let them know we getting started and they don't want to miss it. Because the first part of our training tonight is really going to be talking about the nuts and bolts on how you get your business started the right way. All right. There's a system in place. Our business model is more of a franchise model than a traditional sole proprietary business. Meaning, if you buy a franchise, you're not just buying an opportunity to sell a product or service, you're buying a system of operations. See, every successful business has a system on how they operate, right? For example, if you buy McDonald's, you're going to have golden arches just like every other McDonald's worldwide. Has anybody seen a McDonald's with blue arches? All right. Anybody? No. If you walk into McDonald's, as soon as you walk in, the fries are always over there to the left. Anybody ever notice that?
Yes.
Oh, so just the fat boy see the fries to the left. Y'all don't see that?
I saw him with you, so.
It's right there to the left, right? They always over there to the left. And they got the little salt shake on the string. They don't even got to pull it down. They shake, shake, shake. Okay, I pay too much attention to food. But look, let me tell you, that's a system. It's not because it's cute. We have a system in place as well. And what a system can give you is not guaranteed results, but it can give you predictable results. If you follow the system the way it's set up, you can get predictable results. And we got one of the best that's going to show you exactly how to make our system work, right? And I know he knows how to make it work because a lot of people say, I don't have time for a business. When this gentleman got started in this particular company, he already had 2 full-time jobs. He had 3 full-time kids. He had a whole life. He worked out every single day, had a dance squad he was a part of, and still had time to build a business that pays him today for what he did 3 years ago. Anybody want to get paid today for what? Anyone get paid 3 years from now for what you're doing today? Give him a thumbs up. That's called residual income, right? So he knows 100% of what it takes to be successful and loves having fun. And I know he loves having fun. See, my big brother won't do it if it ain't fun. So y'all, please give me a favor and help bring to the front of this particular Zoom my big brother, Mr. Richard Harden. Welcome, 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 sir.
Awesome,
hello,
awesome,
hello,
awesome.
hello. Hey,
Oh,
Mr. Richard.
Well, everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. And before I jump in, I'd be remiss if I didn't give respect where it's due to the first regional director in the Make Wealth Real system, one of the people that they designed the business system around was his behavior and his attitude. So I know he had a good time with y'all just now. Was that fun?
yeah.
And
Yes,
the best
yes.
thing is the conversations we have in between the times that we're living our lifestyle, building legacy as a family. And this month, it gets to be even more important what we do because the country has taken time to recognize the importance of establishing financial literacy. Here's the challenge. Most people were not taught to be financially literate. As a matter of fact, our education system was designed to produce 2 things: workers and consumers. Does that make sense? So, as we jump into Financial Literacy Month, one of the things that I always make sure to do is to practice and preach. My brother has an acronym. He says we got to learn, implement, and teach what it means to actually make wealth real using our platform. As a matter of fact, the things I'm going to share, whether you decide to use our system or do something else, you got to do all of these things. What's brilliant and beautiful about MWR is they have encapsulated all of it into one success system with all of the pieces that we need, and they even make it gooderer as we go through time. And gooderer is an acceptable word for this training and for Financial Literacy Month. So as I jump in, just remember this. Our goal is to make wealth real by making it simple. Financial Literacy Month, let me capture that to make sure that we see it. And one of my first mentors, when I got through the process of getting educated formally, anybody ever go through formal education and find yourself ill-equipped for the test that you were going to take?
The life says yes.
Yeah, meaning as I went through school, all of the time that I was alive, I was taught the lesson, and then I was given a test to see if I had learned what they had taught. But once I graduated from Duke University, I got out there into the real world. Everybody say real world.
Real world.
And realized that life was giving me tests, and depending on what I did with the test, I was being taught a lesson.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? So when it came to wealth, I started saying somebody has to have figured this out. I was blessed to be introduced to the teachings of Robert Kiyosaki. Anybody read his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Yep.
I read some of it.
But
just
go
listened to it today.
back to it. He's had some new innovation since then, but he says this about wealth. And I want us to have an agreement about what it means to be wealthy before I try to explain it to you, because most people are miseducated about what even wealth is. But he said, definition of wealth is the number of days you can survive without physically working. You or anyone in your household physically working and still maintain your standard of living. Now, why is that different than what most people are taught? Well, most people are check to check or check behind a check, broke as a joke and ready to choke. Yes? Because we have to get to a place where we build income producing assets. Because if you think about all the things that Mr. Harden talked about in the overview, taxes, monthly bills, credit cards, bank loans, healthcare costs, 90% of Americans, their income just barely covers their expenses. And if we're honest, we know a lot of people who it doesn't. Yes? That's when you find yourself offsetting something you did for your life with a credit card. And with that being the case, it leaves little or nothing left to invest. But here's what I want you to understand about the platform and the philosophy of Make Wealth Real is simple. Everybody say, keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
KISS is keep it simple, shawty. But for now, this is what I want you to understand. We got to shift, increase, multiply, protect, and create leverage for everything. See, one of the things that we were miseducated in school about. Now, I start this training with this picture in my brain because in a lot of ways, even though I'm not a monkey, this described me. I was so stuck on that original education. Does everybody know how a monkey trap works? See, that monkey, and the hunter actually puts into the bottom of that coconut, that gourd there, something shiny, something interesting, something that the monkey wants. And the monkey can narrow and reach their hand in there. But then when they grab onto it, that clenched fist doesn't let them get their hand back out. And that control, holding on to something too tightly, has them following the same person around over and over again without the idea that some things we were taught just aren't true. Does that make sense? And so this is what I want to encourage you and everyone that hears this training to do is think about some of the things that you learned in school that you have to unlearn to be successful in life. What's some examples? Somebody drop in the chat or come off mic. Tell me what you learned in school that as an adult, you figured out it's not true. I'll start. Time is money.
Credit cards pay bills. They do not.
Credit cards pay bills. Time is money. It's something we were taught in school, but it's not true. Time is time. Money is money. Anybody else? How about this? If somebody helps you on something that's difficult, it's either that you're stupid or you're cheating. Anything else? Think about this. A degree guarantees you a great paying job.
No, sir.
How about seniority gets you more money?
Say that again?
Seniority gets you more money.
Not always.
This is what I want you to do. Think about what we were taught and then start thinking about how the inverse can be true. But for today, let's keep this part simple and just walk through why this matters from the standpoint of financial literacy and the ultimate teaching tools, meaning 4 roadblocks in all of our lives: taxes, debt, big business, and inflation. Yes?
Yep.
And for the MWR system to manifest in your life, the first area of leverage we get, put this in your notes, is other people's expertise. By the way, let me pause and say that. There's three major sources of leverage for creating wealth. Why do you want leverage when creating wealth? It allows you to get more done with less. Leverage allows us to get more done with less. With other people's expertise, we have a group of experts that help us get our money back into our households so that our money stays with us longer so that it can do work. Does that make sense? Now,
Yep.
at the same time, we have a different set of experts as a part of the membership that help us run the six-figure playbook. What's the six-figure playbook? We take your taxes down, your debts down, your expenses down. When your stress goes down, but your cash flow, your income, and your credit scores go up, that increases your fundamental thought of abundance. Yes? Now, what does that look like in theory? Well, when you join our membership, you get a secured private portal that gives you two aspects of our membership. First, there is our lifestyle membership where it focuses on things like reducing taxes and eliminating debt. In the tax reduction process, there are actually 4 different strategies that our experts help people with. There's the instant pay raise, which most people working for a job, if you could get paid more for the job that you have, would you take a bigger paycheck versus less? There's also home-based business deductions. Once you start a business, specifically one that you operate from your home, you're entitled to deductions, but you have to be precise in your tracking. They also review your last 3 tax years, and if anybody out there has gotten in some tax trouble, amen, I pray, hey, it wasn't just me. They have a set of experts where you push the buttons, they ask you some questions, you upload the documents, a set of enrolled agents review the document and send you your new W-4. When you send that new W-4 in to work, they get you, in most cases, a pay raise anywhere from $200 to $800 per period for most people. Now, the second area that I focus on is debt freedom, meaning you want to get rid of all the stupid debt that you can. They say there's good debt and there's bad debt. We'll talk about that in a minute, and I'll share with you why it's important. But in my case, what you do, they say the debt eliminator will tell you the truth. And what did Malcolm X say? The truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off. And in my case, that's what it did. It lined up for me for the first time all of the debts that I could pay off, the interest rate, the amount that we owed, the mortgages, the student loans, etc. And then it walked through a plan to show me a couple of numbers at the top. Now, this is small on your screen, but on my creditor's plan, I owed about $750,000. And on my creditor's plan, I would be paying that for the next 24 years. MWR showed me how to pay that off in 6 years, including the debt payoff. And then they gave me a roadmap. Everybody say a roadmap.
Roadmap.
To accumulate an additional $1 million with the money that I saved over the next 10 years. And I'm halfway through, just so you know. And then for each area, you do the uploads, the experts do the work, you get the result, and then every month they give you a debt analysis and monthly statement so that you know where you are in your plan so that you can continue to run the play. Does that make sense? Now, so for the sake of time, I won't go through every area, but make sure that you put the experts to work so you get other people's expert, eliminating debt, reducing taxes, lowering bills, getting your credit as high as possible, and it even got reward systems in place for when you go shopping to have credits paid to you and to a charity that you care about, all under one portal. That's the first element of simple, that's shifting. Everybody got it? Shift. What do you do to shift? Reduce your taxes, get rid of the debt, increase your take-home pay, and get your credit score as good as possible. Does that make sense? Now, next aspect, if you think about the simple, it's increasing your cash flow, right? And when it comes to building this business, one of the blessings that we have is a set of strategies for, as we increase, let's skip through these, expanding cash flow for financial success. Now, because this is Financial Literacy Month, I want to make sure everybody has seen the document in front of you. If you haven't, or this is your first time, I want to make sure that we are good stewards of understanding the power of cash flow. Now, let me see, show of hands. cash flow statement? How many of you are monitoring your money with a cash flow statement? Okay, this is a good place to teach. This is what financial literacy is for. In the cash flow statement, income is the amount of money that's coming into your life. For most people, that main income source is their job, their business, any place where money flows to you. That's a simple definition of income. Expenses is also outgo. It's money that's going out the door every time you have a payment experience. And then your assets are things, for the sake of our terms, assets are things that put money in your pocket. Liabilities are things that take money out of your pocket. Is everybody with me so far? So if you think in terms of what we were traditionally taught, we were taught that our job was to be our primary source of income, yes? But if you think about our expenses, taxes and interest are the top two. Then you got food, transportation, where you live, and then liabilities. Now, for most people, we were taught that your home is your biggest asset. Yes? Cars, student loans, credit cards. Now, Richard, why did you put your home in the liability column? And by the way, it is an asset, but what is the direction of flow of cash from your house? It's out the door unless you have a home-based business. Am I making sense? Now, the good news about a house is good for us to put in our minds for later. It's one of the few things that we can buy money for that we know consistently goes up in value. Yes? I'm park that idea right there, because that's why it at least has a behavior of an asset, meaning the liabilities going down and the values going up every time you make a payment. But when we talk about real assets, they're things that put money in your pockets, like your real estate, private lending, collectibles, businesses, stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. Now, most people are familiar with the paper assets at the top, but you find that the power in the wealth quadrant comes from the assets that are not available to the common market. People are not as aware of them. And to facilitate that process, when it comes to cash flow, there are three predominant cash flow patterns in the whole world, but especially in the United States of America. On the far left, you have the cash flow pattern of a poor person. I'm not calling them poor. I'm just saying their one source of income is that job. Yes? And the job, the income comes in and almost all of it goes out the door through expenses. And we're talking about rent and Uber Eats and food and groceries, yes?
Yeah.
Now, the cash flow pattern of a middle class person, the money comes in from the job, mostly goes to fund the liabilities, the big house, the student loans, the cars. But then ultimately that goes out the door until those things are paid off. But the goal is to get all of us to the cash flow quadrant where the assets, income producing assets, is how the money is flowing into your life. I mean, think about this. Something has to work. It just doesn't have to be you. And in his second book, so Cash Flow Quadrant, Robert Kiyosaki talked about the 4 income making scenarios in America and says that most people are in one of 4 quadrants, meaning if you're an employee, you have a job and your labor produces the income. If you're self-employed, you own a job. And it's still mostly you that makes the money happen. Our dad was a big time entrepreneur, self-employed, but he always said that there should be a sign over every self-employed person's bed that says the buck stops here, meaning whenever you go to sleep, the money stops. Then you got B, business owner, where you own a business system that works for you. And an I, you're an investor and you have money or other income producing assets working for you. If wealth is our goal, we're moving from our E and S quadrant over to being business owners and investors, where we have a system where we have money at work, people at work, or both. And MWR just happens to be one of the few places I've ever seen in the world that facilitates us moving from E to S and B and I all at the same time. Let me pause for a second and make sure that made sense to everybody. Does everybody see where we're going with this? Because now with MWR, you get the second category of leverage. It's called other people's time. Meaning with the MWR business system that my brother talked about, we'll come back around to getting that system started in a minute. But with the B in the business system, you get the chance for the first time to participate in a place where people at work doing work that you had nothing to do with has a positive impact on your income. Now, when it comes to taxes, this is why the business ownership is the linchpin of the shift that we do with MWR. It's just how we are taxed. Meaning most people have not experienced money making money, and less than half the population understands that the way that we get taxed is what starts the poverty debt cycle. Meaning if I got just my job, I got a W-2, I work, I'm taxed. Taxes get paid off the top, and I get to spend what's left. Yes? With the 1099, if you don't have a business, but you had a home business, and I am specifically saying home business because we're going to talk about how you can write off parts of your lifestyle for doing things you were going to do anyway, but the business earns money, the business gets to spend money, and the business gets taxed on what's left. They pay less, and they get to decide how much of their income they get paid on. Am I making sense?
Yes,
It's like
that
anybody
makes
ever.
sense.
Okay, y'all
There you go.
sound very proper and
Do you?
appropriate. But is
Yes.
there anybody in one of those neighborhoods where you stash your money a different place because somebody gonna jump you and take your money?
Okay.
You keep what you find, but you ain't gonna find the big money. The other money is hidden off someplace in the cut. Does that make sense?
Thanks.
And then last but not least, there is money making money, where money can work infinitely. Money gets to work, gets compounded interest on a continuous basis so that it's reinvested, and the money that was working makes more money. It puts us in a place where now you've got an uninterrupted money machine that doesn't get tired, doesn't get an attitude, doesn't get to the place where rain affects its behavior. And this is where the wealthy get richer. Does that make sense? So if you break it down this way, if we all made $100,000 working, can everybody agree? $100,000 is pretty good money.
Yes, sir.
But if I make 100 at my
Yeah.
job,
Yes.
you make 100 in your business, and Juan has $100,000 of money making money. When I get up and go to work, because if they paying you 100,000, they want 120, yes?
Easily.
So when I get up, I go to work, I make that 100, but they only send me home with 70,000. Now I'm working all day, I'm in traffic, I'm doing what I do for the money. If with your business, you work to make 100, but then you report that you only made 40.
Mm-hmm.
After your expenses, you get taxed 18% of 40. You get taxed like $3,000. But then here's the kicker. Juan had $100,000 in an income producing asset making money. At the end of the year, how much did he get taxed? Well, if he does it right, none. He doesn't get taxed on the money making money until he gives up the asset. And wealthy people have figured out through strategies like trust how to have the asset work forever so he doesn't have to. Does that make sense? Now, to facilitate that process for us, we have a set of experts where once we've properly structured ourselves in the home-based business. Oh, by the way, the home-based business gives you all these things. It gives you the tax breaks, lets you hire your children because you're already spending money on them anyway, lets you leave the legacy, but at the same time, we get unlimited income daily, weekly, and monthly, and this fuels the freedom. Meaning anywhere that you go, this business and your laptop can go with you, and now you get to be in control just by having your home plus your apartment or business. And this is how we start to incorporate the leverage. So recapping the leverage, and then I'm done for a second. In the employee quadrant, you have a job and there is no leverage. That's why less than 0.5% of the wealth in the world resides in the E quadrant. Recap. Time equals money in this quadrant. Unfortunately, time is more valuable than money. Does that make sense? Self-employed, similar case. it's a larger percentage of the population because here's what's true. The amount of active work determines the income. There's somebody that could be self-employed as a landscaper or a plumber or a barber, but if they're not servicing a client, there's no income coming from what's happened. With MWR gives you a B quadrant business where you have leverage of other people's time, where other people get the benefit of working with you. And now with our new partnership with Funding 360, we're in a place where we even get to leverage money. We were always in a position to leverage money, but now we get to potentially leverage other people's money to have that money make more money. Now I'm going to share how both of those systems work, and then I will pause for questions. Where are we on time? We're at 8 o'clock. What's your endurance factor right here? Let me pause for a second and say, from an educational point of view, does what I shared make sense? This is why MWR is so powerful, because here's the one place where you have a system that's built to first increase, create, and multiply and protect your cash flow. Does everybody see that that all happens here? But then the second thing is that within this perfect business, you've got something that's ownable, transferable, where you can be your own boss, control your time and income, work from anywhere, reduce your taxes, stay ahead of inflation, accelerate debt, accelerate your investments, which by getting rid of these two things, accelerates your retirement, allows you to get paid every day with short-term immediate income, long-term residual income, and the power of leverage. I'm going to show you how to go to work putting that success system into place. Just know that similar to the portal that we had for uploading things for lifestyle, when it comes to the legacy strategies for our membership, we get the opportunity to participate in things like our diversified cash flow accounts and land banking. What does the diversified cash flow allow you to do? Simple terms for today: become your own bank. With land banking, to invest in land, so far one of the best performing assets on the planet Earth, because God hasn't made any more. And then with precious metals, specifically, precious metals have become more precious during my lifetime because of a historical decision. What was that decision?
Get rid of the currency.
1973, Richard Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, which meant that instead of dollars being worth gold, they were paper, and it was assumed value. So the dollar's been going down in value while precious metal has been going up. With what we do with MWR, not only do we have access to purchase precious metals like silver and gold and palladium, we also have the opportunity to get paid in precious metals versus US currency. Wow. Imagine that you get a paycheck that gets deposited and goes up in value in a secured depository while you're in action. So here's what we'll do.
That's great.
So let me pause for a second on just that concept. I'll talk to you about how the income machine gets started with MWR. If there are no questions about that, just to know that when you get started, our goal is to not only get you a return of your investment, but a return on your investment that puts money to work for you. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Yep.
Yes.
And then Dr. Hill, if you don't mind, I'd love for you to share the concept of adding business funding. Like, this is something most people haven't had access to, is a credit line plus business credit. It gets you another $50,000. Anybody know somebody in business that could use a $50,000 cash infusion?
Yes.
Anybody even more excited about having the opportunity to have 50,000, make more money? So I'm going to fly through the basics to make sure everybody knows how to be in a position to have a business, even if you don't have one today, through MWR, where you've unlocked the income and are in a position where now you have some leveraged passive residual income and are in a position where you've recouped your investment and have money available to invest. That's all we want to do in this business, is share and invest. Does that make sense? So when we talk about the 6 steps, 6 steps to success, The number one step is unlocking our mind. We'll call that step 0, to the possibility that people out there want to get wealthy and make money in a different way than they've been taught. And specifically with MWR steps 1 through 6, unlock the money, identify your prospects, sort with speed, collect decisions, fast start interview, and compound your success by sharing with more people and investing the amount beyond your lifestyle. For today, I'm gonna focus on step 1. Is that okay?
Yes.
Focus on step 1, and then I'm going to pass the baton to talk about how we put the new money with the more money. All right, so step 1, I want you to unlock all of the streams available to you. Multiple streams of income is no longer negotiable in America today. You want to unlock the money by doing the fast start process. What happens in a fast start? Well, we get started fast. And the goal is straightforward and simple. You share it with everybody that you need to find 3 people that want to do it and 1 person that only wants some of the money, and let that person be your outside customer, right? We do that in the first week. Why? Because it gets you a real return on your investment of $249. Because when your 3 business partners get started, the company pays $50 each. That's $150 in upfront bonuses, another $50 for the person that decided to become a customer, and another $150 just because you did it fast like you wanted it. Does that make sense? But the blessing is now you've opened a door to $150 a month daily guaranteed residual income. $350 is $100 more than the $249 investment. Yes?
Yes.
And $150 a day means you've got a
Yes.
self-funding business, but the goal wasn't just a self-funding business. It's to build a team of people that are building business so that they have the cash available to create wealth. So when that team of 3, say for the sake of this conversation, it's me, Chuck, and Sean, we go out and find 3 people each. That creates a team of 12 in your second week. Is that a good week too?
Great.
That's an
Yeah.
amazing
That'd be great.
Yes.
Because now with leverage, you're on the second level of momentum bonus. It's another $450 plus $20 a day guaranteed pay. So now you're at $600. And now anytime half of that team of 12 has somebody get started, you earn another $300 a week. In our scenario, we want to get as quickly as possible. If we can, in that first 3 weeks, 4 weeks, get to the executive director 3 position, 3-star executive director, or the comma club, now you get the 90-day momentum bonus of $900. Yes. $600 in growth bonuses that happen because of what the people did in the weeks before. And now you're qualified to earn anywhere from $30 to $150 every time someone new gets started in the team, whether you know them or not. Would you help more people get started?
Yes. Bonus after
Yeah.
bonus.
And here's the power of that. You add up all of that money, $350 for going out aggressively in week 1, starting to build a team so that now you've got the leverage of other people's time to create new money. It's $350 plus in week 2, that additional $450 plus $1,500, that's $2,300 or 10 times, just about. It's just under 10 times your initial investment, and $1,500 a month in residual income in your first 30 days. And now you started the process of unlocking the money, realizing and recognizing that the membership also, for every member on average, $2,000 in monthly savings by leveraging other people's expertise and putting the experts to work. Making sense?
Mm-hmm.
Step 2, this will be your homework tonight. Now, I'm be very specific about the homework that I give you tonight. Make sure that you do it exactly this way. I want you to make a list of everybody you know. Not everybody you know that will do MWR. Everybody that you know that needs money in America. Who needs money in America? Everybody in America. Just make the list for now. Think about who you know that could be a blessing to someone else if they were put in a position to have more money coming from their house, coming to their household without them having to be the ones to go out there and get it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, it does.
Now I'll rush through that part because there's
Yes.
something new that has been added to our MWR platform. And it's the last, in my opinion, I didn't even know that this was going to happen. Having a play in place where we get the last aspect of wealth creation or leverage is other people's money. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Yeah.
that makes
Yes.
Meaning, so far we've talked about other people's expertise, having the experts put more of your money back in your house. Yes.
Mhm.
Having
Yes.
them share
Yes.
with you investment strategies to have that money multiply and grow into a bigger beast. Yes.
yes.
Yep.
The last
Yes.
thing
Yes.
was but by starting a team where we have a win-win. I want you to know that everybody has the same opportunity to win with leverage other people's time by helping them start a business that's helping make wealth real for them. The more of them that you help, the more you get helped. And to share the concept of our brand new partnership. Now, Dr. Hill, I'm putting you on the spot with this one, but I'm excited to see how you roll.
Okay.
When it comes to the addition to what we do, let's talk about that big money conversation and having a yellow brick road where now we've got 2 income producing assets from one business and one partnership. I couldn't think of anybody better to do it. Looks like he set up for a fireside chat there. But
Yes, sir.
Dr. Hill, when he first saw this information, is it safe to say that you were a frustrated high school math educator?
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
He was doing the math and it just didn't make sense to do what he was doing. Got
Right.
started in Make Wealth Real. And get this, over a period of 90 days, like was shown in the example, he went from a place of frustration to fascination as he increased his income from Make Wealth Real using the strategies to where he was making more doing this than he was at his job. And he left them. He said, no, I'll go. You keep the
He
kids.
got a divorce.
And here's, and here's the blessing. He has a good time sharing it and a reborn, rejuvenated mind in his approach to teaching. So I'm going to get out of his way. Y'all help me welcome. I mean, matter of fact, this is a big favor. Stand to your virtual feet. Help me welcome the doctors in the building. Dr. Shanti Hill.
Welcome.
Bro, let's go.
Be here in the building.
What's up, family? How you guys doing?
All right. How are you?
That's amazing.
Excellent.
Looking
If I
good.
got any better, I would not be able to stand it. That nigga, thanks for asking.
Right. All right.
I mean, it's a great time to be alive, and especially when I get the opportunity to hang with my sponsor. Didn't Richard Hart do an amazing job with that ESBI? When I saw the cash flow quadrant, I
Yes.
almost did a backflip
Yes,
in my
we
seat.
did.
That one teaching changed my entire financial life just by reading a book that I could barely afford to buy. And he just broke that thing down so smooth. But he was giving y'all $1 million worth of game. Guys, do me a favor. If you're going to be waking up babies and making your neighbors mad, let's give that right back to 4-star executive director, Mr. Richard Harden.
Yeah.
And he's one of the few people that could have actually introduced something like this to me because he was already mastering this stuff in real life. I was playing cash flow the game. He was playing cash flow in real life. He was doing this stuff in real time with real money, and I was aspiring to. But guys, had I had then what we have now, so here's what needs to happen, and I'm say this in love. If we don't shift with the company, we're gonna look up in 90 days and not even be in the company we're in. This is no longer the home of the instant pay raise. This is no longer the home of the whatever else is all of the other things. I still income shift because we still income shifting. It's just different now. All we do now is invest and share, guys. All our CEO really wants us to do is invest and share. And he gave us an amazing investment strategy. And these guys gave me less than 15 minutes to share it with you. And so I need somebody to turn sharing on so I can share. And I'm gonna share with you guys a few slides to make sure you understand what it is we have our hands on. It's not gonna be a hype session. How many of you guys want some information?
Yep. You can share
Information.
First, I'm gonna preview
Yes.
something that if you say you saw it, I'm gonna say they lying. I ain't show them nothing. I'm gonna say you lying if you said that I showed you this, but I'm just gonna show you
Fell off
something.
a truck onto a screen.
I'm just saying it fell off a truck. and the screen wasn't cracked. And I was just playing it to see if I needed to throw it in the trash or take it back to the store. But in the meantime, enjoy this real quick. Let me show you something. Uh-oh.
You got to go back and turn your sound on. Click the button with the sound can play.
I don't see volume.
You got to turn it on. You got to go out.
The volume's all the way up.
Yeah, you got to go out of the share.
Out
and
of
then
the
click the bottom of the, when you hit share, click the bottom of the button and say share side.
and then no volume. So what they was gonna say to you, okay, let me see if I do a reboot real quick. I really want y'all to see this real quick. But the Fundable website is being beta tested as we speak, as you can see. I'm beta testing it right now. I'm not getting anything. So here's the thing. You just don't get to see it this time. Howsoever, I know something that will work is my slides. And so I'm going to share with you guys my slides. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
You're loud and clear.
I can hear
Wait a
you.
second. I can't hear y'all at all.
You can't
That's
hear
just
us?
on my end with my total volume. Microphone check.
We can hear you. You can't hear us.
Hello.
Y'all heard my video too?
No.
No.
Not the
No.
video.
But most applications
Oh, I hear the
actually
video though. Hold on.
We just did.
I hear the video
I hear
now.
it now.
All right. We are now cooking with gas. Let's go.
Most business owners get denied for financing and think it's due to their income or credit score. But most applications actually get denied because the business doesn't pass a basic credibility check that lenders call fundability. What's unique about the fundability system is that it automatically integrates with the secret credit reports lenders use to show you how fundable your business is by generating a fundability score. Your score represents the likelihood that your business can qualify for financing now and ranges from 0 to 890. The higher your score, the higher the likelihood that your business can qualify for financing. Raising your fundability score and increasing your ability to get approved is easy. Here's how it works. First, the fundability system retrieves data from the secret business reporting sources that lenders use. It then identifies and shows you issues with your fundability that will get you denied. You simply fix those issues in a couple of clicks in the fundability system, and you'll see your fundability score increase instantly. As your score improves, you'll see a decrease in loan and credit denials and an increase in automated approvals and pre-screened offers. Having access to your fundability score exponentially increases your chances of qualifying for business loans, credit cards, and credit lines. Get access to your fundability score and the fundability system today to get the money you need to grow your business with more approvals, higher approval amounts, and better financing terms.
And so that's the video that goes along with the new fundable website.
Awesome.
I stayed up all night making that. No, I had nothing to do with it. I just heard about it. But here's the thing, guys. You got to get excited about that part of our business. Yep. That's the new sizzle that sells the steak. I lead with it in my presentation. I'm starting to lead with it in my conversation. And here's why. 3 conversations a day. One of them in particular was starting to get on my nerves because this dude was acting like he didn't need to sit with me. And then I just asked him a simple question. I said, do you know any current or aspiring entrepreneurs that could use an additional $50,000 minimum in funding without really needing their credit score? And he said, if you're talking about funding, we need to sit down today. What? So the overused word in our business is true about fundable. It's a game changer, for real. Yeah. I mean, it literally changes the hearts and the minds of the people that you're talking to because that is completely different than anything. They don't know anybody that can help them get funded anywhere, anyway. And so when all you need is $2,995 for 50, how many of you guys would agree that's a pretty good flip?
That's a good flip.
And so here's the thing. If you know owners, business owners, or anyone, everybody say anyone.
Anyone.
Okay, so what if we were talking to you too? Everybody say anyone.
Anyone.
You know, business owners or anyone who would like to obtain business funding, simply refer our business funding to them. Our experts handle the rest. Guys, when you introduce them to the MWR business funding and schedule their appointment through that portal, the business funding experts explain everything. The business funding experts enroll them for you, and you get paid. Everybody say, I get paid.
I get
paid.
And you get paid for every enrolled referral. Guys, it doesn't matter whether or not they get funding. It just matters that they get enrolled. Is this making sense?
Yep.
Yes.
What the company does is they'll take their EIN or their LLC from wherever it is to doctoring it up and making it look good enough to be fundable. Everybody say fundable. Fundable by banks. Now here's the thing. You take this information, you become an MWR business partner, $249 one time, $149.97 a month. You use the MWR tax experts. Guys, we have a free service with our MWR tax experts. They will help you set up your LLC or EIN. That's included in your membership. They're going to do it by appointment only. You're going to have to do it through your membership portal. They are not taking phone calls. The only thing that would cost you is when they file your LLC, it might be anywhere from $30 to $300, depending on what state you're in. Does that make sense?
Yep.
As a matter of fact, that depends on what state you file in. It's just because you live in Georgia, just because I live in North Carolina, don't mean I got to file in North Carolina. You file in the state that's best for your business. Somebody should be able to tell you what that is. You schedule your business funding appointment and enroll for $29.95. Now, in my overview, as a matter of fact, if Rick and Chuck want me to, I'll upload. I just did one. I'll upload it to the portal so you guys can see the flow. But in my overview, I introduce the legacy stuff first. I introduce the funding first. I introduce that it's $29.95. And I tell them, some of us are super excited because it's only $29.95.
Yep. But
some of us are where I was 5 years ago. Where the heck am I going to find $29.95? Well, we're going to find it in our lifestyle strategies, getting more of our money back into our pocket, and in our business building strategies, making more money by sharing. Because all we do is invest in shares. That make sense?
Yep.
I don't do the thumbs up. Y'all got to come off mute. Y'all got to master your mute button tonight. I don't know if y'all talking to me. I ain't looking at y'all.
Yes, I'm talking to you.
I'm with you.
Ain't nobody at y'all.
No, that's right.
Nobody come to see you, Otis. And so here's the thing. You buy precious metals with the 50K. You buy precious metals with the 50K. You buy precious metals with the 50K that you obtain in business funding. Did I say you buy a car?
Nope.
No.
Did I say you go to Cisco?
No.
Precious metal.
You buy precious metals. Guys, this is an investment strategy money.
Okay.
This is investment strategy money. But here's the thing. You wait until MWR signs a precious metal contract. Somebody asked me why.
Why?
So you don't start the clock on them payments. You don't have, see, when you get your funding, you don't have to use it until you want to. But the second you use it, you started the clock on your payments. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so you don't use it until it's going to make you money. And so with that being said, then you start earning monthly returns through the exclusive precious metals leasing contracts.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you how we're going to use these in a minute, but does anybody have any questions about this particular slide?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Been there for a minute. Thank you.
You good?
So you take your investments, you take your funds and put it into precious metals so it can make more money.
Right.
And your LLC and EIN is separate from what you already have.
Wait,
No, it could be the same. It could be the one you already use. Matter of fact, you
But if
if yours has been used well, it actually gets you funding faster. So somebody could actually get an EIN today, and it might take them 2, 3, 4 months for them to make it look fundable, or for them to make it fundable. That makes sense?
Mhm.
But yours might already be fundable because it's already been making money. And so I strongly urge that you use your EIN that might have generated $170,000.
Hey, you smart. Okay, go ahead.
Wow. Wow.
I'm just saying, get that money faster, right? Because,
Right.
but now here's the thing, for MWR business partners, you get an additional stream of income. You have the ability to use other people's money to accelerate your asset and wealth accumulation. And it's a door opener to attract business owners to MWR. Guys, all business owners need funding. That makes sense?
oh,
Yep.
And
Yep.
all aspiring business owners need funding where they don't have to show any collateral and their credit score doesn't matter. There's no one that we can't introduce this to. Does this make sense?
Mhm.
Especially when you
As a matter of
credit
fact,
score doesn't
Yes.
matter.
Richard did an amazing job of sharing with you the power of your prospect list. How many of you guys understand your prospect list just reopened?
Mhm.
Everybody
Yes.
you
Yeah.
already talked to, it did not matter that you already talked to them because you are not talking to them about $50,000 minimum funding.
Revisit again.
Oh yeah, every last one of them, because you're talking about something different. Every time we launch something different, I go back to my entire list. I ain't telling you what to do. I'm just
It
telling
makes
you what to do.
sense. It makes sense.
You know, I like to mind my business about what you do. I just like to tell you what I do. I'm going back to my entire list. I'm going back to my entire genealogy report. Everybody that's ever gotten into business need to know about this because they stopped doing this and they thought they were going to do other businesses. They need funding.
we'll need funding.
Is this making sense?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
And so with that being said,
Yes.
members, people who we call just customers, even though there's no such thing as just customers, because I'm gonna show you in a minute why a just a customer is a great thing to be. But you get free business LLC or EIN assistance through our tax experts. You also get the ability to use other people's money to accelerate your asset and wealth accumulation. Business owners, though, they get guaranteed funding of $50,000 or more. Everybody repeat after me. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
You get good at saying that this stuff is guaranteed because the CEO of Fundable said it. The CEO of MWR said it. Shouldn't the CEO of your company be saying it?
Same thing.
Yes.
And so your personal credit's not a factor. Startups with no revenue and established business are accepted. Meaning, again, you can get your EIN today and they'll start making it fundable as soon as they get to $29.95. And if they can't, they give you back your $29.95. And so there's a guarantee. You don't have to make any collateral or personal property guarantees. The funding can be used for any reason. They mind their business. I'm just strongly urging, and your CEO is going to be strongly urging, you use it for what?
Precious metals.
Precious metals.
Metals.
What the precious metals.
And here's what I love. Number 6.
Deal.
Once you get approved one time, you never need to apply again for additional funding.
Come on now.
I'm going to show you how powerful that is in a second. Flat fee, no high interest, no huge upfront percentage-based fees, no daily or weekly payment. If anybody tells you they heard about something like this, tell them, no, the heck you didn't.
You did not.
They might have heard of somebody
Not this.
they do business funding, but they don't do it like this. Is this making sense?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Tentative launch date might be sooner. None of my business. April the 15th. You saw the site. It's almost up and running. It's going to track all your business funding appointments that's scheduled by you via the site or businesses you shared your site with. It's going to track all the submissions that's going to be in your business center. On April the 16th, the tax experts are going to assist any QMDs with setting up their business LLCs and EINs if they don't have one, and they're ready to proceed with business funding. The service is free to everybody, excluding the state fees, the filing fees. Appointments are going to be done via your membership portal. Do not call the tax hotline for this service.
In your portal that we look
And
at.
everybody repeat after me. Blast from the past. We love the 10th.
We love the 10th.
Of the
Love
10.
the 10th.
Y'all remember that? We love the 10th, right?
Yep.
Business funding is gonna get paid out on the 10th. Every customer that you get before April 30th will get paid out on May 10th. And that'll be the first set of payments. When this first set of payments start hitting, everything changes in the company.
Mm.
You've been warned. You've been forewarned. Let me show you what it looks like financially. So let's just say you take 50,000, and we're gonna close with this because I am right at time. Do I have enough time to show this?
Finish this. Yep.
So you know how the money works. This is what I just shared with some folks right before I came to hang out with my family. If I can show you how to make $500,000 without using your money, would that interest you?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay, the rest of y'all make too much
Yes.
money. Either you make too much money or you think I'm lying. Which one is it? Let's try that again. If I can show you how to make $500,000 without having to use, or actually with using not your money, how many of you guys would be interested in that?
I'll
Run
be
it.
interested.
Yes, sir.
Just checking. I was just
Yes.
checking. And so with that being said, they give you 50,000. Let's just say now remember, we get the same exact precious metal contract that Brian House gets. We get the exact same percentage that Endamo Tosin gets. It's going to average anywhere from 1% to 5%. Let's split the difference, say 3%. But this is 3% ROI every month. And so you take that 50,000, you put it in at 3% ROI per month. That's $1,500 a month.
Yeah.
Now we got a loan. That means we have a loan payment. Yes.
Yes.
So let's say that's $500. That monthly profit is $1,000. See, anytime you can use your assets to pay off your loan and still make $1,000 every month, $12,000 in the year, you are a savvy investor.
Yep.
Is this making sense?
Yep.
Yes.
So that's 62,000
Yes, it
at the end of the
is.
year. So that's 62,000 at the beginning of the year too, right?
Yes.
Wrong.
No.
50 more.
Because they're gonna give you another 50,000 without you having to do anything because you are fundable.
Oh,
Is this making sense?
Mm-hmm.
yes.
So now there's new sum.
Yes.
112,000 at 3% is $3,360 a month. Now you doubled your loan, so you double your loan payment, $1,000, but your monthly profit is $2,360 a month. That's $28,320 a year. You're at $140,320 by the end of the year. How many of you guys feeling better about your investment strategy?
That sounds
Yep.
great.
Beginning of year 3, guess what they do? They give you another 50,000. Now you're at $5,709.60 a month because of your return on investment. At $1,500, that's $4,209.60 a month. That's $50,000 a year. Guys, you are getting a 100% check match on your initial investment that was not your money.
That's awesome.
You got $250,000 in 3 years if you stick to this simple strategy and not buy that new couch.
Mm-hmm.
You buy that couch with the profits, right? And so it just gets gooder and gooder. In 5 years, you're at $500,000. Keep doing the math. It's even more exciting. Any questions about this? This is for example purposes only. They might fund you $100,000 now. That's none of my business what they fund you. Contract might be 5%. It might be 1%. We split the difference. Any questions about this before I turn it back over to my big sponsor?
Don't buy that couch.
A lot of money.
Okay.
Man.
So with that being said, I want to turn it right back over to my sponsor, Mr. Richard Harden.
Man, listen, I appreciate the execution with speed and the breakdown and the new, this is what I want y'all to have. It's the new attitude. He just showed y'all how to go from 0 to $500,000 with none of your own money.
I got to show one more thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Can I show one more thing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, when you refer business funding, you get paid $400 every time that happens. But let's just say you happen to be my sponsor and I refer business funding. I make $400, but you make $100 because you get a 25% check match. Do you like that?
You love it?
You don't even know my customers, but would you keep the money?
Nope.
Yeah.
Just checking. And so then for those of you that are 3-star and above, the legacy bonuses pay on this. So every time one of these business funding customers, or every time somebody gets funding, every time somebody enrolls in funding, you make it anywhere from $30 to $150, depending on where you are on this chart. And guys, the only stipulation is you have to be an active business partner in good standing to receive this revenue. And you can refer it to anybody, and you can refer it to your body. Sign yourself up and make a $400 bonus while you get your $50,000 in funding.
Mm-hmm.
And now, with that being said, I will turn it back over to my sponsor.
Well, there you have it. You got everything that you need. We got other people's expertise. We got other people's time, other people's money, and income producing assets just produced off our willingness to share and invest. It's a powerful strategy.
Yes.
But here's the thing. Every powerful strategy requires powerful, massive action from us. Come at this like you got something brand new, because there's just not anybody out there offering them 50 stacks to start a business regardless of what their credit is like. Are you with me?
Mm-hmm.
All right, with that being said, it's Financially Literacy Month, but get stupid. Go crazy, go bananas, go nuts, sharing what we got our hands on. Is a new lease on life when you get to lease out precious metals, because that's something you can rent and get revenue. No toilets, no tenants.
Right.
All right, I'm done. Any other announcements before we close this one out? Has this been helpful?
Yes, it has been.
Everybody understand
Yes,
better?
yes.
Thanks for looking out.
Yes.
God announcement.
I do that announcement. One announcement on the 26th of this month, the month of April. We having a Super Saturday event here in Atlanta. Let me let you know. You want to plug everybody in. Everybody can eat in Atlanta, whether you are physically here or not. If you were in a 2-hour drive, you need to go ahead and register. Right? I put the link in the group yesterday. I'll drop it again in the morning, so it'll be up at the top. But you need to be sure to go register, because we have to understand how big of a room we're gonna get. Okay, so you want to be in the room as we putting it down. All right, the 26th is coming. Make sure you maximize that and think about how many people you can get in there talking about business funding as we're getting it going right now. So organize your list, adjust accordingly, and attack with all out massive action.
Okay. Okay.
That was the announcement.
Thank you.
Good announcement.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's it. Peace up.
Great presentation.
A-Town down.
Yes,
Love y'all.
yes,
So,
yes, yes.
peace out.
Thanks.